Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So for today's video, the Accord is going to be getting a bunch of new mods installed. I have them in my passenger seat. They just fell over right now, but let's get to the modifications that are going to be installed. In this box, I have two mods that will be done today. One of them being the Manifold Spacer. I'm very interested to see how this moves the power band because apparently it affects low and mid torque and horsepower. So that's good because even though this car doesn't have the highest red line, the power is definitely more so in the top end. So beefing up the low and mid, it won't hurt the car, especially for daily driving. But yeah, it comes with the spacer itself and then the two gaskets. That should equal to about 1 inch spacing for the manifold. And then the more exciting mod in here is going to be the ported and polished lower intake manifold runners. I'm very excited for these. I heard that this mod moves a lot of the top end power closer to red line, so I have a feeling with these two mods my power band will be definitely much more well-rounded, both in the low to high end RPM. So I'm very excited for the next mod that is going to be, well, mods that are going to be put onto the Accord. They're all suspension. You can see Megan Racing right here. I did not open it yet because unfortunately I won't be installing any of these mods. It's tough because I don't have a garage nor the tools to install it. Sometimes I'll go to my parents to get it installed, but I'm kind of on a time crunch with work. So majority of the major installs are done through a shop. It's DT Honda Motive. I 100% recommend him for Honda related mechanical jobs because he's one of the best and definitely has good quality work with solid pricing. But anyways, for the Megan Racing, we have the rear camber arms, the rear toe arms, and the rear traction arms. When I first was looking into the rear suspension geometry for this car, I was shocked to find out that there's 3 independent pieces for it. Honestly, the rear traction and the rear camber arms, they look almost exactly the same. I don't know if anyone else ran into that problem, but I did end up buying all 3 because, for one, the car has a lot of miles on it, and it doesn't hurt to just change them all out once you're there. You're already touching the rear suspension. So we have, I'm assuming these are the rear toe arms because it's a shorter box. This is probably the rear camber arm or rear traction bar, and then we have a bit of the unpackaged version of it may be the rear camber arm or the rear traction arm, not too sure, but these are also going to be put on, which will be greatly helpful because my rear camber is not adjusted right now, and it's going to need to be soon because we are going to the track on 130. I keep saying that, but it's important because I want you guys to be excited because we're gonna have a full-on track day with the vlog, also with some GoPro footage for the laps, and we're gonna see how the Accord does because there's not too many cars or not too many Accords that go onto the track, so I'm excited to see that. But let's get the oil checked before I warm up the car, and then we will drop off the car. Alright, so I checked the oil and it was good. This is going to be exciting because this is the first time I'm doing a cold start in the new exhaust setup, so let's try to find out how it sounds. The P2R Manifold Spacer and ported runners, the ported manifold runners are in now, and I just wanted to do a little POV driving. Gonna hit like a first gear and second gear pull. I can't really do anything too crazy because if I did a true third gear pull, we would be basically going over the speed limit on the streets, and I'm not planning to go on the highway for this video, so we're gonna do a first gear and a second gear pull. But before that, let me just tell you guys my first initial impressions. So with the runners and the Manifold Spacer, the best way I could describe it is the power seems like every gear dropped like half a gear. meaning there's more power in every gear. So like if you're in third, now that with these mods it feels like it's in like 2.5, if that was even possible, but it just feels stronger in every gear, and every RPM is also it also feels like there's more power in every RPM. The manifold spacer is supposed to help with low end power, and then oh wow, random truck just pulled up. And for the ported runners, those are supposed to help with top end. So I believe with these mods in conjunction, the car does have a better response and more power in all the RPM ranges. I am gonna get the car dynoed once I get my intake on, but let's just get into the runs. I have traction control off. It's gonna be no launch, but a light, slow roll. So that was about, let's see, that was about 0 to 65 or 70. I know this car's not the fastest in the world, but that definitely felt pretty quick. We'll do one more first gear, and then we'll move over to second gear pull. All right, so we're rolling about 10. So that time I went up to 85. The car sounds really good. There's a little bit more induction noise, induction as in the intake, not forced induction, but it sounds really good. The only problem is the manifold spacer. It did push the intake tube. I have the stock intake right now, so the stock intake tube is cracked. But let's do a second gear pull. I'm gonna go to 45. There's a car in front, so it's gonna be kind of tough, but here we go. All right, that was 95. I don't know if I could sneak in another pool, but hopefully I can for you boys and girls, I guess, if there's any girls watching. But yeah, I've been really enjoying the mod. Next up is gonna be a custom intake. It's probably gonna be a short ram, unfortunately. Just kind of, that's the way it went. And it's gonna be titanium though, and 3.5 inches, so that's, if that's any consolation for it being a short ram. But here, let's do one more 45 in second gear. Don't do that on the streets, boys. So right when I was doing the pulls for the video, my car broke down, most likely due to the tear in the intake tube. I'm hoping that's the only thing wrong. About to get towed. This is not the right start to 2022, but shout out to Advanced Towing. Please don't destroy my front bumper too bad. The car is somewhat low, so rib to the Accord once again. Sheesh. Back at DT yet again. This thing's a pain in the ass, bro. I'm hoping the problem is just the intake tube. If it's not, who knows what it's gonna cost. But pray for the Accord. I literally have a meet this Saturday, so please just start behaving and stop giving me issues. Problem, well, at least the problem I think that's going on. Let's see. Pretty sure it's this. But honestly, if that's the only problem, it's very minor, but hopefully that's it. All right, so that was for sure the issue, because the car runs perfect now. That gave me a little scare, but it was the intake. the tear in there. It was really old, so it made sense that it tore. But we have a new one on there now. Shout out to DT Automotive for always taking care of my car. It's working again. But just to close off the video, if you guys are wondering if you should get the manifold spacer and the lower intake manifold runners from P2R, I would say it depends on your goal with the car. If you want to have more usable RPM for all ranges in the range of your RPMs, I would say you should get both of them in conjunction. If you're just looking for more daily / like low to mid end, I'd say get just the manifold spacer because it's pretty cheap. But if you want higher top end, get the ported runners, and that would be really good for you. But let's go look at the suspension pieces that were also installed real quick before I close off the video. You see it right there, and then on the other side. But the blue is the Megan Racing. You can see I did every single rear suspension upgrade because I do want to get as much accessibility or adjustability on this car as possible. So yeah, hopefully you guys liked the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next upload.